Insert. Good afternoon, this is Jim Conlon here from West Clare Radio, live at 92.5 and 94.8 FM and online at www.rcb.ie. It's a big weekend coming up in terms of the Clare senior and intermediate camogie finals. The intermediate camogie final will feature Clooney Quinn versus Whitegate, and I'm delighted to be joined by players and management of Clooney Quinn. We have Ciara Grogan, Nicole Riordan and Ronan McMahon, is it? Yeah. Ciara, first of all, if I can come to you, I suppose, you've soldiered for a good few years in the intermediate grade. I suppose you had tipped for a good few years to come up. Obviously, you had a titanic battles with Fecal down through the years as well. How important is it finally now to try and make that jump? Obviously, you've played with the Clare sort of senior teams, you know the calibre, and we've seen what it's done to Fecal Killanena getting up there. They're now in the senior B finals. So seeing that, it must give you confidence. You must feel now you're ready, now is your time.
Yeah, definitely. Like we were always a senior club, and it's only been recently, maybe 2 or 3 years, that we went down 2 years and we went down to intermediate. So, like we think that we're a senior club. We think that if this is our time to get back up to senior and to regain our senior status as well.
And I suppose if I can come to you, Ronan, actually. Ronan, apologies. If I can come to you, Ronan, in terms of Clooney Quinn, you have been there or thereabouts the business in for the intermediate championship for a good sort of few years. You have the experienced players, the likes of Deirdre Murphy, soldiering for years. You have the young sort of players as well. What has been sort of different this time around that you feel that you're in a good place in terms of making that jump up to the top grade?
You're more you said Jeff is a legend in Clare and the name said, but it's also I think the biggest thing this year we've brought loads of young girls through. Would say it's been built last year and again this year 3 or 4 young girls. I think might have 5 or 6 minors even start next day, so it's kind of building a new team and a style of play into place and just getting used to each other defensively and going forward. Like, you know, and the more they play together, the more they improve. Say we played Whitegate in the first round and we're very good to get over, but we feel we improve each game and game. It's just getting confidence as young players and the older players like Cole and Ciara bringing on is another thing as well, like, you know, that blend of youth and experiences, what you're looking for on different fields. Right at the end, then again, we prove it again next Saturday, that's the toughest thing.
And Nicole, in terms of Whitegate, you mentioned you played them earlier on in the year. What do you think are their main sort of strengths or attacking sort of threats that you have to curb on the day?
Yeah, obviously we played in the first round championship and it was a very tough physical game. They're a very fit team. So obviously we just have to perform well and just try our best, I suppose. We know how physical they are, and like as Rhoda said, we were lucky that day to get the win, so we know that we have a really big battle on our hands coming this Saturday.
And I suppose Ciara, yourself and Orla Duggan have probably soldiered for years in this Clare jersey as well. In terms of the experience coming back from the county sort of scene as well, sort of driving on the girls, you probably have that leadership in your dressing room. I know Whitegate have one or two have been on the county panel in the past, but in terms of that experience, what are the messages that you're trying to instill to the younger girls in terms of not maybe playing their own game and not probably playing the occasion, because it can be a daunting occasion, a county final?
Yeah, definitely. Ian's Orla, I feel I've been around for a while, so coming back to the club is always an absolute brilliant experience for us too. I know we love coming back to all the players, and I think it's actually some of the younger players that actually drive us on more than we drive them on, to be honest. And I think it's a brilliant mix at the moment between those who might have experienced a few county finals and then those who have never been in a final before. So I think it's nearly sometimes best with the young ones. They don't have much experience with finals, but they definitely have experience with battling through matches, and I think that's what they're going to bring to the table on Saturday, and I think that's going to get us over the line then, I hope.
And Nicole, for the Clooney Quinn sort of parish itself, I know it's a hurling sort of stronghold in Clare, and obviously your men's team had a difficult year this year, sort of fighting relegation. So in terms of that sort of confidence, I know you're concentrating in your own camp, but for the buzz in the village of Clooney Quinn, what would it mean to capture a county title and lift the spirits in what has been a difficult year for the club? Not, I suppose, in the men's team, but in terms of in general. But what would it mean need to bring success back to Clooney Quinn?
Yeah, obviously we do see ourselves as a senior standard team, so we want to have both senior teams, men and women. So it would be great to get back up into the senior divisions of next year.
And Ronan, lastly, coming back to you, you mentioned there about the youth and in terms of the Clooney Quinn and driving on the older girls. In terms of underage teams coming up along, how important it is for them when they make the jump to adult competitive action, that the first taste of action will be sort of senior action in terms of trying to grow your club into a formidable senior club going forward. It's important now that you experience senior club action going forward. Not to disrespect Whitegate on the day, but it will be a tough battle. But is it a vital for you going forward that you make the jump?
Yeah, it is. The boys want to be playing against the best teams to improve yourself. Like if you stay down at intermediate level, bad habits can settle into some players. But including at the minute, we say underage camogie in hurling has never been as good. We've a minor A final tomorrow in hurling, we've a 14A final next week in the hurling. We're playing A grade in camogie up along. That was probably never the case. So like there's 5 or 6 teachers down in Queen School that are setting the love of hurling and camogie in place, we'll say, and then as they get older it's up to the club to nurture that, we'll say. And even this year we had a junior camogie team for the first time ever, I'm not too sure, we'll say. And that was really a good platform for the young girls. Instead of just coming on for 4 or 5 weeks intermediate game, got 3 or 4 games at adult hurling with just physicality and the size of it and the pace, we'll say. And those girls will push on now and compete for places in the intermediate team, we'll say. And that's kind of just a good platform and good, they see a pathway to the intermediate team or senior team that they take it, we'll say, and it's up to the club to create that pathway for them.
Cheers, lads. Best of luck in the intermediate county final.